Okay, Dan, great question this week. Questions, came a couple times
Two,
you.
yeah.
The topic about, loyalty programs with real retailers. I'm going to say, from the big retailers down to, man, the tools are there now. You can be the smallest retailer out there, and there's some great options for you to create your own little loyalty program. Tell us what came about in this conversation.
Yeah, so this question first came on Friday when Thursday or Friday when last week's podcast aired. I got this question from a retailer here in Edmonton, and then I got an email on Monday from a long-time listener in Delta, BC, and Kaylee at the Urban Rack, had some really great things to say, a really great review of the website, and said that she has been listening to this since the pandemic began.
Nice.
That she's been listening to the podcast and that it has helped her. It's given her not everything that applies to every single retailer, but it does give her some, something to chew on coming out of this. So the original question was, can you recommend a loyalty program that connects to my POS system? And then Kaylee wrote in and said, hey, can you do this for me? I have this question. Is there one? What do you recommend?
Yep.
And the simple answer is 100% yes. There are lots of different products that integrate to point of sale that help ease that pain. So yes was the answer. Now, I'm going to say, Rob, there are several other questions we should be asking ourselves ahead of let's find an integration. We've got to better define customer loyalty and what it means to us as an independent retailer.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, let's just start out really simple. Let's Google the word loyalty. And you get the definition: giving or showing firm and constant support or allegiance to a person or an institution, right? Loyal. The definition is giving or showing firm and constant support or allegiance to a person or institution. Person, indie retailer. Institution, retail store. Loyalty is genuinely having their best interests at heart and ensuring that the relationship is reciprocal. So before we go and add expense to our business, building or adding an integration that will more than likely try to buy loyalty versus earn it, let's ask ourselves, how do we inspire a strong feeling of support or alliance from both the external customer and the internal customer? Let's not forget about the internal customer, our team. Buying customer loyalty is totally fine. And lots of people out there, lots of retailers out there, and they're happy buying loyalty. And it's okay as long as you're willing to lose that customer to a higher bidder. Hence, why I say loyalty needs to be, earned rather than bought. So let's think about inspiring loyalty. Let's just start with our team or our employees. Your people become loyal to you through inclusion, recognition, respect, the difference that they make in your business, and most importantly, trust. Every good employment relationship, Rob, you've ever been in, that you've ever been loyal to, was based on a foundation of respect, reward, inclusion, and trust. It never had anything to do with money. Money does not make you loyal. It makes you susceptible to the highest bidder, right? So if this is how we think about our team and creating or inspiring loyalty with our team, why do we think about customers any differently? Let's talk about restaurants for a second. Are you loyal to a restaurant? Right? Let's remember what loyal means, right? This giving or showing firm and constant support. Do you go back to the same restaurant over and over again? Do you deem yourself loyal to a restaurant? I know I do.
Yep, totally.
I know I don't use the term loyal restaurant. I use the term favorite restaurant. That makes me loyal to that restaurant. It's my favorite. Why? It's not because I get a discount for the number of times I visit. It's because of the experience. It's how they make me feel. It meets my expectations. It breeds loyalty. All right? So let's go back to retail. There was a recent study that came out from Salesforce. Salesforce, probably, one of the foremost leaders in customer relationship management. And they report that 95% of customers say trusting a company increases their loyalty. Here's some other key information. A poll from Yotpo revealed that people will go the distance for brands they love, and nearly 68% said they join a loyalty program for brands they like. 68 said they'll go the distance for the ones, that people go the distance. 68% said they'll join it for a brand that they like, and 56% of those polled said they will spend more money even when a cheaper option exists with the store they're loyal to, that they trust. Yeah,
does that ever reinforce that, eh? Yeah.
Right. Stop thinking about giving the farm to customers to get loyalty. Start earning loyalty. Customers are already saying, I'm willing to spend more with a brand even if a cheaper option exists, because I'm loyal to that brand. Brand, by definition, right? Yeah. The picture of who you are, what you resemble, what you embody, your values, your belief system, that makes up your brand. It's not exclusive to the nationals. It's not exclusive to a chain. It's exclusive to you. It's your brand. And so this study also found that people want more than free shipping and discounts. They want early access to sales and new products. Wow. 60% of customers want early access to sales as part of their loyalty. 51% want access to new products. What's new in your store? 39%, right? More than 1 in 3 said they want offers and recommendations that are tailored, Rob, directly to them personally. So this message for retailers, God damn it, before you look for a solution that simply integrates with POS, you got to first understand what loyalty is and the different types of loyalty platforms or programs that are out there and how they benefit her. There are really 4 types of loyalty, and I'll give you sort of a brief rundown. Okay. And we should share some of this content. Yotpo is an integrator with Shopify, and they did one of these studies on all of their Shopify business that they see, right? So we've got relevant information here coming even from the e-com world, where loyalty seems to be more prevalent than it is in B&M or in brick and mortar.
Okay.
So the 4 platforms.
Okay.
Points-based loyalty, number 1. So points programs are the most common type of reward programs. They let customers accumulate points that they redeem for freebies, cashbacks, perks, etc. Customers don't just earn points from purchases, they earn points from sharing on social, leaving reviews, having a birthday or gamification. There's lots of ways that we can earn points by being an ambassador, right? An ambassador for a retailer, screaming from the mountaintop about the good work that retailer does. So there's points-based loyalty. Okay. Then we have number 2 is tiered loyalty. Tiered loyalty programs are a type of membership where customers get different benefits depending on their rank. Businesses rank membership groups membership into groups depending on criteria like sales or engagements. And these rewards give customers a goal. The higher their tier, the more exclusive or better rewards they receive. So there's a couple of really good examples of tiered loyalty. Holt Renfrew, probably one of the best tiered loyalty programs ever created. It does look at annual spending with a customer. And the list of inclusions goes on and on and on and on, least of which is discount driven. Yes, you have an overall discount where you buy, but it's added value, added service. And in that tiered loyalty program, that's where we want to see things. And I'll share some other examples of good tiered programs. But let's keep moving through here. Paid loyalty is number 3.
Okay.
So paid loyalty or fee-based loyalty programs give customers immediate and ongoing benefits for paying a fee. The fees typically are annual or recurring, like one time or, I buy a subscription, I buy a Amazon Prime membership, and I get free delivery on Prime items, free next day delivery on Prime items, right? So these paid programs typically need you to show some proof of value to get a sign up, like Amazon did, right? They came out and when they launched Prime as a loyalty program, are you a Prime member? Well, these are the perks and the benefits. You get television or you get movies, Amazon Prime television, you get free next day delivery and da-da-da-da-da-da. And that's a paid thing. You pay for that loyalty. So now you're paying to be rewarded for your loyalty. Seems backwards, doesn't it?
And a bit of the, the focus on the word of say subscription versus membership. And,
right.
And, you're a member, not a subscriber. Like
you're
part of this group. Yeah.
And listen, you're going to see that in lots of different places where you become this type of member. We do it ourselves at CRS. We have, our bronze membership and our all the way up to our diamond membership.
Okay.
And the inclusions at the diamond level are quite significant in comparison to a bronze level. And there's lots of that in the world. And that in itself is really tiered loyalty, not necessarily or certainly not paid loyalty. All right. So lastly, the fourth kind of loyalty platform out there is what we call value loyalty. And the idea behind a value-based loyalty program is to connect customers on a deeper personal level. It usually involves donating a percentage of purchases to a charity or welfare program, right? And you can offer lots of options for charities to choose from with your customers, things that genuinely align with her values. And this program, while it doesn't necessarily reward the customer, it still holds a special place for them as the rewards become a benefit to the greater good, to the greater society. And brands often create hybrid loyalty programs using this model of value loyalty. I'll give you an example. Sephora lets members donate reward points to the National Black Justice Coalition.
Okay.
And speaking of Sephora, they have one of the strongest programs out there with tiered loyalty. When I start to think about what tiered loyalty really means, and for me, I think tiered loyalty is probably the best strategy for a retailer. Who else does tiered loyalty really well? Well, I think tiered loyalty exists, created by airlines.
Yeah.
Right? The more you fly, the more benefit you get. Now,
you arrive to the location 100 feet later than the person at the front of
right.
Yeah,
but
no, totally. The experience
seats wider,
of that,
seats deeper. I get a glass instead of a plastic cup. Maybe I get a meal. Maybe I get early onboarding. Maybe I get free baggage. That whole tiered platform comes from me being a loyal member of WestJet. The last 15 months has seen me go from the top tier almost all the way back to the bottom, with no travel. But Rob, they do a very good job of rewarding their audience in this tiered platform. Credit cards are another example of people that have great tiered loyalty programs. And whether that's a cashback or travel rewards or points rewards that can be redeemed for product, it's a tiered platform. The more you spend, the more you get in perks.
Yep.
Right? Now, Sephora was a good example of this tiered loyalty program where when you become one of their elite members, you have a standing 20% discount in the store, in addition to right? Holt Renfrew was very much the same way. Things from same day delivery, free tailoring, free dry cleaning, things that are added benefits to being part of that club. So for our retailers, we've got to remember where loyalty comes from, right? Loyalty comes from inclusion, keeping them informed.
Yep.
It comes from recognizing them, recognition, right? It comes from that recognition of they're important to you, making you important to them. You're making a difference in each other's life. There is some level of reward that they look for, and they need to trust you. Trust can never be purchased. So I'm going to say this for every retailer today that is out there competing for customer trust and loyalty. The best way to build trust and loyalty with your customer is through her experience in your store, and an experience that they aren't getting from your competition. Rob, this is where competition, competitor intelligence becomes so important. Where's the gap? What can you do that they're not?
Get them where they ain't.
And I don't mean to say forgo integration, never mind points. I'm just saying you need to first start with, where does loyalty actually come from?
Yeah. Well, you just gave an amazing overview of kind of the why and the different elements of it, and I really like that. Before just jumping right into, well, here's the tools and here's how the integration works, and because it ignites a lot of thought into how do we want to approach this as our retail operate? What's our approach before we get to the tool side?
Yeah, before I pay for something, before I pay for a tool, I need to first understand what the tool's going to do for me, or not for me. Pardon me, I don't want to say for me. Let's erase that. What it's going to do to enhance what I'm already doing. It can't be a replacement. Rob, from the very beginning, footsteps and finger clicks in your store, customers are loyal. You have the ability to earn their loyalty through that experience. I'll say it again, from their first footsteps and their first finger clicks in your store, you start to earn their loyalty, right? Through inclusion, recognition, respect, and goddammit, trust. None of which you can buy. So get off the discount-driven world, and discounts can be a piece of your loyalty. Loyalty starts with how much you do for them, how much you care about them, how you include them, all the stuff that, I'm going to sound like a broken record now, but it's the reality, man. You gotta do more for her and her experience. That's awesome. Loyalty.
So when a retailer has we'll say they've got a great vision of what they want to do with that program, where do you take them next? Where does that conversation go?
So good question. So we really go through this needs analysis process. What is it you want to accomplish? And then, here, the team at CRS will align what you want to accomplish with the products that we have that integrate with your solution. Heartland has one that they lean on, or Global Retail has one they lean on, Retail Pro has one they lean on, Lightspeed has one, Vend has one, and then there's a ton of third-party ones that breed loyalty that speak to loyalty. But it's not something you can buy. So paying $100 a month for an integration that's just going to buy, send her discounts, that's not real loyalty. Yeah. I mean, you're buying your business, you're buying some sales. And if we really scrape it all back, today it's not as important. Customers are willing and not just willing, long to spend more in their communities. We've done this amazing job in the last year of highlighting the value of your business in our community. We want to support it. Yep. I'm a consumer, right? The first place I look to spend money is here in my town, right?
Yep.
And if it's convenient, I'm doing it.
Yep. when you look at, and we talked about this before, making time for things within your day-to-day operations, when you look at this component of the business, how often, how much should retailers be spending on the time of the this loyalty loop aspect of their business? They spend all this time and energy on marketing, like to your point, that first walk in the door, that first click in the website. Right. This speaks so much to the creating that, hopefully, what is an infinite loop afterwards. What should they be doing each day, each week, each month?
We've said this for a long time. You got to know your top 10. Right? You got to know your top 10 customers. When I say know your top 10 customers, I mean you know them. You don't recognize them, you know them.
Yep.
That's your job, to get to know them. And I say top 10, it's just a term, top 10. It might be top 50, it might be top 100, it might be top 5, but every single week you're you're knowing that top 10. And loyalty comes from you adding those touches that demonstrate how important they are to you. Nothing will ever no discount will ever replace a handwritten note, right? No discount will ever take me back to a restaurant that I had a shitty experience in. No discount will ever take me back to a retail store where I was made to feel unimportant.
Nice. Great topic this week, Dan. That was good.
Not a bad one.
I'm sure, some folks might have a couple more questions on this or a new question. What's the best way to connect with you on that?
Just go ahead and fire an email to dan@thewealthyretailer.com, and we'll get an answer from someplace. I mean, this is a good example, Rob. So this question came, a phone call question. This was awesome. Somebody actually called me, this retailer in Edmonton, and we chatted. And then I got the email from, old school. I loved it. I love the old school. And in today's world, you look at your phone and it's like, oh, you can see who's calling. It's like, hey, I don't recognize that number. You got to answer it differently. And here it was. It was somebody that had a question. So it was great. Or you can send an email. But I didn't have every answer I wanted to share, as we sort of answered this question here. So we went to the pool of resource. We went to the pool of knowledge and said, or book of knowledge, and said, hey, let's dig a little deeper. And we went to Shopify, we went to Yopto, we went to StatsCan, went to a bunch of different places to assemble. Here's some stuff you should know. This is where the information comes from. So I don't ever, want people to think that I have every answer. I just know where to get it. If I don't have it, I know where to get it. So don't be shy. Just fire your question off to dan@thewealthyretailer.com. And please, please, please head over to retailbycrs.com. Hit subscribe on that weekly newsletter. Catch this podcast on all your favorite platforms. Leave us a review. I mean, hell, you could leave a question there if you wanted to, but give us a thumbs up. Tell us whether you like it or don't. And maybe somebody in your circle that might like this podcast, and give them a little share.